I'm going to talk about strategy and the do and why, yes, it's important, but also what it means actually to be before you actually do. I have had people ask me, what's the difference and how do we create that and why is it important? I'll tell you why it's important because I've said this over and over again and I've been on both sides of, you know, being somebody who is a high performer just in that pure unhealthy masculine way of getting things done. What does that mean, Shamina? All right. I'm just getting right into it. I'm just going to break it down. So being in the unhealthy masculine, strategy is going to be the only option that we actually pursue. It's going to be where the more we do, the more hopefully we will, accomplish and succeed, and the more we'll have. But that philosophy and that formula, it only works for so long and it only gets us so far when you're needing to keep doing it over and over again because it never fills your cup up. It never fulfills you. It never makes you feel like, yes, this is the thing. Oh my gosh. It's always like, what's next? And the only way you'll know if this is where you are at is some identifying factors is before you complete one major goal or achievement, you're already thinking about the next. Okay, Shamina, isn't that what we're supposed to do? Yes, you are. You're allowed to, especially if you're a high performer, you're not going to be sitting there going, okay, my job is done. But the difference is how it makes you feel when you do the thing. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know the difference between being in that healthy, balanced masculine energy and balanced feminine energy, you're not really going to understand why you're not feeling fulfilled. Let me back it up. So, because this gets asked a lot, and I want to really help you guys understand this, and this is what the bulk of my work of what I do with women, and I was this woman. So let me go story time. I was an attorney for 20-something years. But before I started doing this work, I had no idea about self-development, to be honest with you. My only type of self-development was going to the gym and bettering myself at the gym and lifting more weights and, pushing myself on different physical things out there in the world, like triathlons, not a marathon. I did a 5K. There's no way hell I'm running that much. And bodybuilding competitions, whatever I could physically take myself, because I had that high performer in me, but I didn't know about self-development. I didn't know about Think and Grow Rich. I didn't know about how to improve my mindset. I was always determined to win, and that inherently was something I was born with, and I never gave up. So I had those things, but I also had this, driving force inside of me of unworthiness. So I was always, didn't know that at the time, but now I know that's what was driving me to always achieve, but it never ever satisfied or fulfilled me the way that I thought it would. When I passed the bar and I got sworn into the state here in Illinois, I was like, oh, that was great. Okay, so what's next? And nothing would ever make me feel that way of like, I thought every time that something monumental or big would happen in my life, I'd be like, wow, like, oh my gosh, this was the thing. Like, this makes me feel so good. But I just didn't know how to feel. So inherently I knew how to do, but I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to be present. And so a lot of women that I work with that come to my world and women that are out there listening to this right now, you guys know how to do. You guys know how to get things done. But slowing down is not something that you ever want to do because you don't want to be behind. You also, competitive. You want to get ahead. You don't want to look like you're lazy. There's no time to like chill and just settle down. You're always multitasking. You're doing it right now while you're listening to this. It's like you can't really be still. And while strategy is so highly important, what I try to teach people is, while as a lawyer, I was strategic. I knew what I wanted to do. Even how I got married, when I had kids, everything was down to a plan and strategy, believe it or not. I'm like, I'm ovulating at this time. This is, I kind of took the fun out of everything because it was so A-type. I was like really, really just planning every single moment of the, because I wanted to be optimal, efficient. I never really wanted to leave anything to surprise, or to the element of like the unknown, because that was scary for me. Because coming from the background that I did, and if you haven't listened to all of the podcasts, you should go listen to my story. I had a lot of unhealed trauma in me. So being controlled and being very strategic and needing to know all of the things was something that I needed to function and survive and calm my nervous system and be able to keep going and getting to that next level. And why is strategy only half the equation, because yes, you need to be able to do things and get things done and execute and perform. Absolutely. But there's also this other side of you that needs to really have the acknowledgement of who we are within. Like, who am I? I remember when I had my aha moment on that yoga mat. And if you don't know my story, you should go listen to it, where I realized like, I didn't know who I was anymore. Like, who is Shamina? I had all the accolades. I had all the success, but my beingness, the existence of who I was, I didn't know who she was anymore. And that kind of went hand in hand, and feeling empty and exhausted. And yet I had this perfect life, like how could you be upset? How could there be something wrong with you? I was talking to my mom. She's in town, and we were coming back from going to get a pedicure, and I was playing some oldies in my car, because she doesn't love my hip hop. And Elvis Presley came on, and she's like, they say that he committed suicide. And I was like, how could someone with so much success, like in my mind, I was thinking this, take their own lives? And the thing is that if you are not happy within yourself, and you do not know how to be still and be and cultivate that knowingness, that other part of you that exists, because I didn't even know it existed until I started awakening and found like, oh my gosh, there's this whole new world of me feeling, being, creating my thoughts, creating my reality with my thoughts, like using energy. Like, I had no idea this existed. But you think about people who suffer with this mental health, they suffer with, trauma, they suffer with emotions. And I wouldn't want to label myself that way, that's who I was, but damn it, that's who I was. I was just in survival mode for like decades, because I had no idea there was another way. So of course I was a high performer. High performers and survival mode go freaking hand in hand. They're like, it's like locked and loaded. That's it. Like the why we achieve is because of all of that. So go back to the strategy. So doing, getting things done, it gets us only to like that point of where you hit the ceiling, or you hit this place where you're like, is that it? Isn't there more? Am I supposed to feel more? Is it supposed to feel different? There's something missing. And that feeling of something missing couldn't be filled by any of the things I bought, by any things I achieved, by anything I did. No trips, no parties, no friends, no relationships. Not even my children could fill what was missing inside of me. But it was there, like a big crater had come in and left a hole, like it was there. And so when I say strategy is really important, I want you to understand finding out who you are, finding out why you tick, finding out why you think the way you think, finding out what's in your way, finding out why you're not at that next level. Those are all because there's a beingness inside of you that has not been activated yet to the way that you want to feel and be in this world. And many times women think it's just, well, if I do more, I'll feel more. If I do more, I'll get that feeling. It's like chasing that dopamine hit. It doesn't last long. The thing that I've realized now is like I'm always in this high of the beingness of my life, because I'm so present that I'm not trying to chase what's next. I'm allowing myself to just live in this, in the now. And that is something that I feel like many of you who are listening right now are searching for. And you're searching for the meaning of who you are, the why you're existing. You're questioning who you are. You're questioning what's next. You're questioning what your legacy is going to look like, why you're doing what you're doing, why you came here into this lifetime and now. And while you can keep motoring and keep performing, I will tell you, the more money we make, the bigger this hole gets. The more success we have, it's almost like the bigger this hole gets, because there's got to be a point where you stop and go, okay, what's next inside of me? What am I running from, and what do I need to fulfill? So this is the other half, is that feminine energy. This is what it is. So it's not just bubble baths, right? The feminine is our soul self. It's the consciousness within us. It's the connection to our higher self. It's the intuition. And I know all of you say you're intuitive, but if you all could really 100%, this is another episode coming up, say that you listen to your intuition 1000% of the time, you'd be lying, because you don't. Because unless you have gone through my programs and you're like evolved to a place where, you've mastered your emotions and yourself, then maybe yes. But the that feminine, it's like I can call it something else. I can call it your consciousness. I can call it your beingness. I can call it your presence, the thing that makes you who you are. And it's not just personality, because personality is one aspect of the consciousness of who you are, because your personality is determined by your experiences of what you look through life. And why I created this podcast, or I wrote my book, or why I'm doing anything, is so that people can shift, awaken, and expand their consciousness, their awareness of what and who they are in this lifetime. I'm also a badass businesswoman. I'm also a badass business mentor. I'm helping you with your wealth. But first things first is that you really have to do the foundational work. I've seen so many women that go out there and they're like really killing it in the game. They're successful, but they're struggling deeply inside of themselves, because they're struggling with the identity of who they are, because they thought that the success was going to make them feel something. And they're finding out very quickly that it's not. And now they're searching, for who are they, their meaning of themselves, because I didn't know who I was anymore. In the sense of I'd lost myself in the success. And I know that it's a gaping hole, and sometimes it goes into relationships. Your relationships suffer, the marriages. This is where marriages become loveless and sexless and all these other things. And, parenting becomes so hard. I mean, it is hard to begin with, but it gets harder because you just need a break. And there's another way. And I want other women to know this, because I did not know until I had a club come and hit me on my head and that yoga mat on that day, January 9th, 2013, that I'd just been in survival mode. I knew it. I felt it. I knew something was off because I was intuitive, but I didn't listen to it because I didn't know where I was supposed to go with it. And I didn't know it meant something because it's been my default mode. So it's like putting duct tape on something. I just didn't know that you could fix it. I didn't know it needed fixing. I didn't even know it was there until I did. And then once you see something, you can't unsee it anymore. So when I talk about like strategy, I love it. But I see so many women going out there trying to perform, trying to do the strategic thing over and over again, having some success, maybe a lot, but still they're searching for who they are within. And that's what money can't buy them. Their success can't get them that, because it's not a tangible ROI. It's a who you become. So when women come in my world and they come take my programs, I bring them through my process of how I transformed my life. Thousands of women have come through my world. And one of the things that they find out about themselves is they get to be who they are. It's safe to be authentically themselves. It's safe to be me. You know what? I don't have to pretend to be like that anymore. I don't have to be angry about something that happened to me when I was 9. I don't have to hold the past so close to me. I don't have to live in resentment. I don't have to, let self-sabotage run me. I don't have to be in scarcity anymore. I don't have to do the things that I've been doing just because I've been doing them over and over again because they've been habits, right? And they become aware. And once they have awareness, then they can do something about it. They start to change and they start evolving into this more powerful version of themselves. So people would say, oh, you're into women's empowerment. It's not about the rah, 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 use our voice. I mean, yes, I'm like, rah, 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 show me who you are. I want you to be able to transform who you are in my space. And while I hold this safe space for you, you transform your existence into this most amazing, powerful woman that you came here to be, whoever that is. But I feel like until you do this other part, the strategy is only going to be getting us so far. Now that I've done this deep work, and it's been over a decade, I've gotten to a place that I don't ever feel like this is the end or this is the worst thing that could happen to me. I can manage my stress. I don't have to be stressed. In fact, I can manage my emotions. I can manage what happens and what's thrown to me in life. I told my mom today, I just wish I had more hours in the day, because I would literally be, I would spend half the day just being in my beingness and the other half, doing all the things that I want to do. I mean, I love my life. Each day I wake up and it's this beautiful creation. I didn't always feel like that. It was drudgery. Now I'm just like, I'm so excited for what's next. I'm so excited for the possibilities that are going to come through the door, the people I'm going to meet, the opportunities that are there. This is the thing that we are searching for. And I do believe I've been able to activate it, create it, open it up with inside of myself. Fulfillment is the biggest piece. And when you can be in this state, this beautiful state that I'm in, and many women get into when they come in my world, then you can go execute the strategy. Then that strategy now is like 1,000 times more powerful because you're not running up a hill, pushing a boulder, exhausted, trying to figure things out, not really understanding why you even want the thing that you want, but you've got fulfillment moment by moment. You have things that you cannot, like making money is great, but like I love it. And I'm going to always talk about it. This podcast is called Unapologetically Rich. But rich to me is not just money. This is richness. This is why I feel so powerful, because I can walk into any room and know that I have mastered who I am. And do you know that being authentically centered in your person is things that people can never buy and many people can never get to because they'll quit the game before they get there because it's too hard. So many women come in my world and they're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And before they can cross through the finish line of feeling this feeling, they stop because they're not ready. They come back, many of them, and they're like, okay, I'm ready now. But some of them, they don't. A small percentage. I wouldn't say a lot. And we got to go on without them. I want everybody who listens to this podcast, that reads my book, watches the YouTube videos, joins my Millionaire Mindset program, and that is the program you need to get into if you desire this. It's a 6-month program with me. That you feel this, because this type of feeling, no achievement can ever make you feel this way. No strategy will ever give you this sense of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. And I will tell you, this is what everybody is searching for. And that to me is the richness. So, this is kind of a deep, deep one today. Listen to it again. Don't listen to this just once. Listen to it again. And I invite you to share it with others. I invite you to have other people listen to this in your world, because I feel like this will help others. And if you're ready, book a call and come work with us. So, if you enjoyed this, I want to hear it. Leave me a review. Send me an email. Come join us in the Quantum Woman group on Facebook. Go check out my YouTube. I've got different content there that you can go binge and watch. And if you haven't yet, go get my book, Unlocking the Quantum Woman. This book will change your life. We have so many 5-star reviews. This book is being bought in troves every day, and it makes me so ecstatic, because when I wrote it, I wanted it to be the book that people read and go, hey, girlfriend, you need this. Hey, so-and-so, you need this. You need to read this book because it's going to change your life. And that's what I want to do. Little by little, you're going to help me get the message and the word out there so that we can collectively change how people are showing up in the world. And go grab my freebies below, because they're there for you, okay? Hope you enjoyed this, and stay tuned for the next episode. Bye for now.